Hello. Hello, farmers. Okay. We went camping. And now we're back. And the first thing I did after unloading the car was take a shower. And then I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a Frosty and we're going to stream. Frosty has been consumed. And now I'm thinking it's time to actually optimize our artisan setup instead of just like talk about it. I think it's time to actually do it. Okay. Everything looks good. Those are really cute. I love that those glow, but oh my, look at those. That is really cute. Also, when I tried to start streaming, OBS did crash my computer. I'm hoping that won't become a problem. I guess we need to make more of that. It's all right. Okay. Well, even though it is Monday evening now, we had a lovely weekend. Lovely long weekend. These are broken again. Went camping in the absolute middle of nowhere. I'm talking BFE no service. And it was glorious. There they go. Absolutely delightful. So, now we're back. No. Can we make hot cocoa? No. Well, then what do we do with that? I've never known. You can't turn it into cocoa powder. So, like, what do you do with it? Is that just something you sell? I've never known what to do with cocoa. So if you know what to do with cocoa beans, please tell me. Okay. We can juice, we can... yeah, we can also, I think, process that. Three. I think that should be enough. Oh, you can't do sweet potatoes, huh? That's okay, I guess. Make some jam. And then... okay, we'll see how that shapes up. Now, here's one of the things we're going to need to do. We're going to need to move all of this stuff into our cellar. Watermelon, grape, pineapple, starfruit, cranberry, tomato, blackberry. That's a lot of that, though. I don't want to sell that. That's a lot of that, too. Some of those are just like a lot of them, and I don't want to waste it. So we'll do it. But we don't need to keep like one of a lower quality. You know what I mean? Especially since we wouldn't be able to even process those together. Do we have a Titan arm? But that's an osmium one. Do we have... because we'll definitely keep the osmium one. Let's sell both of these. Because we've got the top quality. Then we'll evaluate down here, see what we've got. Look at the size difference in these boxes. We have 3 open. Go 1, 2, 3. We're going to make as many of those as we can, honestly. I think materials might be the most challenging thing for that. But we will find out what we have in terms of... I think the resin is probably the most expensive thing. Ooh, osmium bars. That's why I was making osmium bars. But that's okay, I've just made more. So we'll keep the osmium bars going, so we can make more of those. Okay, there's 3 pineapple. That's 3 star fruit, so we can sell all of those. Okay, so that we have 1 each of those. We need to do the century eggs and that kind of thing. I want to keep like 1 each of those. And it'd be great if I could do that with like osmium quality stuff. Just to have something to make Bobby feel bad about himself. You know? Hello, Izzy. What a cutie. Okay. So I'm eating these spicy nuggets from Wendy's as my like, you just came back from the wilderness meal. I'm not gonna lie, those with the ghost pepper ranch, real good. I'm a big spicy food person, and it's like, in my opinion, what actually makes the spicy nuggets spicy. That sounds cool. He's trying so hard. Yeah, absolutely I do. I can't... So, he always talks about making all these weapons and stuff. Like, I want to play with them. I think that would be incredible. Where do I stand on catching things? I still need the birdwing butterfly. The swallowtail just simply cannot happen. Fish are completed. Critters are completed. So I need that birdwing butterfly. Okay. We're just moving stuff out of our inventory so we can move processables, I guess. Oh, look, they're doing the solar garden. Hello. Hi, Derek. Oh, hey. Look at that face. Kinda got like a smirky face, huh? Give you a friends and family prize. That's what I'm talking about, Derek. Okay. We love a deal. Let's see what can get sold out of this inventory right here. Basically, everything. I'm not going to keep anything right now, I don't think. Eventually, we will keep all of those. Because there will come a time when we actually need to do tool upgrades, and it's coming up quick. Coming up quick. Okay. So let's look down here and figure out kind of a layout situation. Ideally, what I would like are horizontal rows separated by a space or two so I don't have clicking problems. Because, you know, when you stack things vertically, you can have clicking problems. Now, something that I know about this game is that automation is incredibly buggy. I would love to do automation, ideally. But the fact that it doesn't work so often is making me want to plan for this without automation first. So I'm thinking horizontal rows with a chest at the end. That chest will be dedicated to whatever items I'm going to be aging in that row. So like say I have a row here, I want a chest on the end filled with juice so that I can do wine, right? I think that'll be the way. I think that'll be the best way to do it. So I'll do like a chest for wine, a chest for kimchi, a chest for cheese, and then one for like, I'm thinking mixed things like mead, right? Do we age mead or do we just do that? I don't remember. Anyway, I want to do one where I have space to do like the salted eggs and century eggs and blah blah blah. And then just like other stuff. My biggest categories are obviously going to be kimchi, cheese, and wine. Pre-colored book. Hello. It's good to see you. So I think I have extra chests. I can see how I want the spacing. Sounds like a valid workaround of the buggy auto chest. My biggest issue is the bugginess, right? Because I would set myself up to be really upset if I spend this entire stream on nothing but automation and then it breaks immediately. You know what I mean? Of course you know what I mean. Because I know that you've also been struggling with the broken automation, but I just don't know that I have the heart to fight that battle right now. You know what I mean? So I think just setting it up where I can easily do it manually is going to be the way until we get a bug fix for the automation. Oh, I got like a double French fry situation going on here. Is it too close together? Am I gonna have trouble? Because my biggest concern is obviously being able to click. As when you stack chests vertically, or not chests, but when you stack the aging barrels vertically, sometimes you misclick. And I'm trying to avoid that problem. So is separating by one space enough? Ooh, see, that would only put us at 3 rows right here. If we did 2, you know. Coming soon. Ugh. Because if I put all this stuff down, I'm like, oh yeah, just separating by 1 will be fine. And then it doesn't do what I want it to do, we're going to have a problem. You know? But we'll try it. So let's do... I guess we can do this as our kimchi row. We can do... This is a cheese row. Yeah, that is an already aged piece of cheese. And then we can do our wine row. We're gonna bring more of the juice in here. Like this is where we're gonna fill that with all the juice. And then this will be our like random assorted items. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we can, that's everything out of there, right? Yeah. Separating it, but I mean, I feel like that'll be enough. As long as they're not like directly on top of each other, it's usually easier to click between them. But now my concern would be what happens when the labels start getting in the way of each other. You see what I mean? Like, are these labels so tall they're gonna get in the way of the barrels in each sequential row? Kind of like I'm the problem I'm having with my solar panels right now. Those are stacked directly on top of each other, but this is a harder fix. Because this is obviously, the aging barrels take more time to process. And I need to leave a row open right here so I can walk. And I guess the point kind of is that I won't know until I try it. So we'll wait for osmium bars. But in the meantime, we'll move stuff. We will act like this is our plan until we feel that we need to change the plan. Look at that. Just enough space. Come on. Yeah. You're fine. And then what else? Okay. All of this in here. Ugh, these are finally done. These bugged again. But they're finally done. Here's what we need to do. Reload. So we have all this honey. We have an entire chest of honey. Right? Honey is used to craft stuff, obviously. So we do need to keep some around. But we also need to turn some into mead. You know? So, I'm starting to think that, like, what quality are we processing right now? I'm starting to think that all the honey, we're doing gold quality everything right now, basically. I'm starting to think that everything we process right now, we need to take that and turn it into mead. You want some advice on making honey money? Absolutely. Because I'm thinking, like, this is fairy rose honey. Like, that's going to make really expensive mead. You know what I mean? So why don't we just take some of that in there and do the 4th row, like, mead, and, like, leave a couple of those open for, like, the century eggs or the whatever, you know, the weird eggs and, like, stuff that you don't age a whole lot typically. You know what I mean? The fairy rose is gonna make, like, some of the most expensive mead, though, for sure, because fairy rose is typically, if not, it's worth the most points, I know, for the harvest festival. So I think it might be the most expensive. Oh, there it is. I think it might be the most expensive flower in general. Let's take care of our animals because we didn't do it this morning. I need to finish their automation, so obviously I'm working on it. That is going to happen in a couple of days. We just need those osmium bars, and with the frequency that we've been stuck just waiting for stuff to process, especially bars when I need them, I think it's going to be worthwhile to make another one of the furnaces. Genuinely. Cactus, fairy rose, iris, lily, sunflower, poppy, blue dahlia, all go 1,500 plus one mead. Nice. I put a cactus and a fairy rose in there. And I think a blue dahlia might have been in with it. I'm not sure what the third one was. But I know for sure I put a cactus and a fairy rose in there. And cactus, fairy rose, and blue dahlia is what I've got the most of in there to process. Like big stacks of gold quality of each of those for sure. So I'll look for, I'll look to keep a lot of irises, lilies, sunflowers, and poppies then. Thank you. Cactus meat is nuts. Yeah, I could definitely see that being crazy. What if I take those eggs in there to process? That'd be bad. Look at us. A rank. can make butter. You should pivot to processing osmium. Oops. Here. You should pivot to processing osmium and gold quality. Yeah. So that was my big thing in fall, was like anything gold gets processed, anything osmium gets kept. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe, I don't know, if I just get like large quantities of stuff to save, I'll start processing the osmium stuff too. You know what I mean? Like if the horde starts getting egregious, even for me, I'm going to start processing osmium too. But you can kind of see like with the fall stuff, it's all gold quality. Because that's what I wanted to process. Kind of jealous of that trophy. Never got it on my save. That's so weird. That feels like something that should not have been allowed to happen. I got it in the mail too. Do you know if that's a common bug? We have to process those first, huh? Because don't you have to put those in a mason jar, and then put them in the artisan, or the, not artisan, the aging barrels? Dang. Reported it, saw a few people comment not getting it. That's so unfortunate. Well, it's real cute. Let's check the trees. I always forget to check the fruit trees. But I do think it's been easier to just have these going in here. Because I know they'll all be in, and then I can just reliably get all my fruit. And you know what I could do in here with some of the extra space? I could grow things like cactus, fairy rose, like blue dahlias. I think you said poppies, irises, sunflowers. What am I missing? Lilies. I could grow those flowers in here too, so that we can just have that mead going all the time. You know? Especially since it's worth so much. I think that would be a good idea. I kind of think 10 is enough. I know that doesn't sound like me, but I kind of think 10 is enough. I'm trying to be wiser about what I'm keeping and why. That, or I'm just exposing that there is no rhyme or reason to any of it. Which is also possible. So things I know about myself. Did you upgrade your seed quality all the way yet? Not yet. I was working. I had something going last stream, so I need to see if that's finished yet. I don't remember what I had going. I don't remember if it was seeds or fodder or seedlings or whatever. I think fruit trees are the last thing that I have to upgrade from gold quality. So I need to make sure that I can do that tomorrow. So I need to make sure that that's all good and ready to go. And then the first thing I'll do for osmium quality, yeah, I may need a little bit more gold kelp essence. Then the first thing I'll do when we do osmium quality everything will be seeds. But yeah, I've been working on it. I've been going by category as opposed to upgrading like seeds all the way. And then doing that all the way. Because it's easier for me to remember that, like, yep, I was doing gold. And so I know it's easier for me to remember which quality I'm on if they're all the same quality. So that way I'm not having to run back and forth. Because the more back and forth I do, the more likely I am to forget what I'm going for. So, yeah. I will put this in my inventory so that I know to check in the morning for more osmium stuff. And then we can upgrade that. Process everything. We're gonna run out of room. We're out of room. Oh, well, the flour doesn't go in here, so this is still a problem. These are processed outside anyway, so let's put them in here. Okay, it's time to go to bed. It's almost midnight. So soon. That'll be not an F. So soon. So soon. Okay. My food has gone cold. I'm very happy that I didn't wait to eat that Frosty. Just wondering, I need to rush any of it. I've been trying to do it the last few streams, just like trying to remember to do it. So I'm not rushing. It's just like, oh, a reminder. It's kind of nice because it's remembering things is a struggle. Hello? You know what I sold? I sold 2 of those Titan arm honeys. That's where a lot of that came from. Garlic kimchi is worth that much? Everything that can be fermented, we're fermenting. Look at that. I can't believe we sold that. That could have been gold. Could have been gold. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah. Yeah, I just got to be better about that. Granted, I haven't really prioritized like putting these taps haven't given me anything in a few days. Anyway, I will say, like, granted, I haven't exactly been. Oh wait. Haven't necessarily been spectacular about stuff. Okay, everybody's good, everybody's happy. Time for llama wool. Hi, llamas. I'm kind of loving this enclosure with, like, the double barns and the double coops. I think it's real cute. I started processing a lot of stuff already, so we'll just keep making these things. Look at that! 2 osmium quality llama wools? Hello. Now we have so much silver and gold quality in the cheese wheel that I'm not even gonna bother with keeping that. Hello. Let's go pet Izzy. Izzy. What a cutie. She's so cute the way she just like runs around. 3 cocoa bean to Zoe. When is that? 4 days. My mouse is still giving me trouble. Like, it won't go, if I'm trying to like click on a machine or something, it won't go all the way. It'll like fight me. Trying to square up. I kind of want that. Hello? Hello? Oh. I grabbed the wrong thing. That was silly goose behavior. Okay. Let's come in here. see what we've got going for us. Fair bit. Now, let's see. Oh, you can't do a golden egg in there. Can you? So maybe we just do a bunch of eggs today. And we'll do the large butters. Oh, we'll do one large butter. Weird that that won't count as two. It just is like, no. Okay. Everything's going there, and then we just put a whole bunch of fruit in here, so... I know that's both stacks, but that is just kind of taking up straight up inventory space. You know what I mean? That can go, that can go, that can go, that can go, that can go. There is still so much stuff left to learn to craft. I recognize a few of these things, obviously. The different types of scarecrows. That's some underwater stuff. Those are the shed skins, I think. But still. I looked in there for a reason. I forgot what the reason was, but... We're coming back around to a furnace. Think we could try to make one more. Yeah. See what one more can help do for us. I will refrain from going in there for now. Let's see. We did finish our last... Okay, so we did finish the seedling. I was right. We are coming up to sapling. Perfect. Okay. So we'll make more gold kelp essence. I love seeing the pets chase each other around. I know. They're so cute. We obviously took Will camping with us this weekend. And when we got home, the cat was sitting in front of the door, waiting for us to open the door. And she screeched at everybody. And then she immediately started following Will around. She was like, "Hi, you're back. Hi, I'm so happy you're back. Hi." It was so cute. No. What's going on with this music? Is that new? Look at her. I love watching them do the projects. I don't know. It just feels so alive, doesn't it? Just adds this really wonderful layer of just livability to the island. It just feels, I don't know. It just feels nice and alive. Just breathe some. Okay, we need to make more of that gold kelp essence. She was missing her big brother. She absolutely was. And she's a crybaby about it. She is not afraid to let you know that she's PO'd about it. Oh, I've already got stuff in there. Made a mistake. She's not afraid to let you know that you have made her mad, that you have taken from her that which is most precious. Anytime I take Will anywhere, it doesn't even have to be taking him camping. I can take him to get groomed, and he's only gone for a couple hours, and she's like, "You're a traitor, and I hate you." She will literally look at me and tell me that. And I know that's what she's telling me, because I can hear it while she screams at me. We are very, very lucky that they get along, though. Because it just as easily could have been that, we found her just a little bit older and she didn't like dogs, Lucky for us, though, we did find her when she was like 2 weeks old. She was at most, I'm talking at most, 3.5 weeks. I mean, she was teeny tiny. She was like riding on my shoulder right here, teeny tiny. So we got really lucky. We knew that he was gentle enough to handle it. Where is that? Lookout in the forest. Okay, so let's go check our forest traps. We knew that Will was gentle enough to handle a cat. That was never a concern. The concern was that Cat would be aggressive with Will, right? Which, luckily, never wound up being an issue. Because after the first couple of days, when she realized that, oh, he's a giant furnace, they were absolutely inseparable from that point on. And I remember that moment very, very vividly because I had just gotten out of the shower and the cat was walking around and I saw her. I didn't know that Will was in there sitting next to the bed. And that's weird for him, right? Like, if he's going to be in the bedroom, he's going to be on the bed, lounging around, right? Like, he's back there snoring on the couch with a pillow right now. His own pillow. that is exclusively his pillow. That's how spoiled this dog is. And he was sitting next to the bed, and I was like, that's so weird. And I don't know. I just walked over, and he kind of looked at me, and he had real big eyes, and then he looked down at the cat, and the cat just scooched in, like right between, she walked directly between his big old paws, and then like snuggled up to his belly because he was warm, and then she slept there, and he stood there the whole time just like sitting straight up with big wide eyes. It was like, what do I do with it? He sat there so patiently while she napped like that. It was very cute. It's good that he has no issue with small things. No, he has no issue with any small things. I mean, he's good with cats. He's good with other dogs. He's good with people. He's good with children. He's played with elderly dogs and puppies and dogs his age. He can roughhouse. He can be really gentle. And one of his favorite playmates at our last apartment was actually a tripod. He had cancer and had his back leg removed. And then after he got better and was able to run around and play again, it was like nothing ever happened. But what was crazy was that he didn't even have to be told. He just kind of instinctually understood that, like, he can't be as rough on Hatton anymore. And he wasn't. So, it's pretty cool. He's a very good boy. He's always been very mindful to a degree that's actually kind of strange, right? I will say I was also very pleased that the cat didn't destroy anything while we were gone, because sometimes she does do that. Yes, dear?
Will you ever be wanting that potato soup anymore? Or are you done with it forever?
Perhaps, but if you want it, then eat it.
Should I just make a sandwich from that on, or should I eat it?
You can eat it. 'Tis there to be eaten. Used to have a dog that was kind of anxious. Was convinced into getting a kitten. Was worried she'd attack the kitten because she would catch squirrels and shrews outside. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand being hesitant about that. Because we had some dogs that were not good with cats, and we used to actually separate our house with a baby gate. So the cat had like the back, like all the bedrooms and stuff, and then the dogs were in the living room. Because, yeah, she would kind of do that. Or our dogs would like chase the cat around. But Will's never had an issue with cats. But one of our family cats did have an issue with Will, which always made him very sad because he liked her. She had no issue with the kitten. Oh, good. I believe because of how attached the kitten had gotten to me in a short time. I believe that. I absolutely believe that that has something to do with it, because they know. They absolutely know. Forest, Mid and Forest Farm. The Lookout, Forest, Mid and Farm. So I have the traps in the wrong place. I wake up at night with both of them laying on me because I sleep warm. I sleep warm too. That's why I'm sitting over there like one leg out or whatever because I'm hot. And Ben is always like up under the covers, and so you like can't feel how warm he is. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and the cat is like sleeping like between my knees, and Will is like pressed up against my side. And it's funny because Ben will get so sore about like, well, the cat only sleeps with you. I'm a furnace. You know? Ooh. Cutscene. What a weird way to say that. Oh. That's very respectful. It's exactly what my parent did to me. Yeah. That is my reality. But it's very nice because it's the first time I've ever had like dogs and cats that get along. So. No. We had s'mores last night. Okay. Cute. That's a cute cutscene. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sweet, now I'm finished eating, so now we can do some, like, serious organization. I need to see if I have any more of those flying insect traps. I should have one like right up there. Okay, so I have to tell you about this weird dream I had while I was camping. I don't know if I've been playing too much Coral Island or not, but you know how the little I thought Ben was gonna say something. You know how the little ghost will come and get crops out of the mailbox? I don't know if I've been playing too much of this game and this is a symptom of that or something. But the campsite we were at is like surrounded by this creek, right? You're in this little peninsula in a creek. And so you're surrounded on all sides by the water. So you can hear the creek like burbling at night. And I guess my brain was thinking like, it sounds like chattering or something like that. People here are also easy on the eyes, you especially. Derek. The fact that he's not a dateable NPC is a crime against humanity. Okay? Crime against humanity. Anyway. Burbling Creek. So, I don't know if it's that I thought it sounded like chattering or that it sounded a little too much like something from this game or whatever, but I woke up, I put a blanket over Will because it was pretty cold the first night we were there. It was like in the 40s. And I don't know. I covered up Will and I rolled over and I was like, okay, I'm going to lay here and close my eyes and I'm going to like turn a little bit so that like my legs against Will so I can feel when he gets up so that I know to cover him back up, right? And then I started hearing like this weird maniacal, no. We have to see what we need to save out of that. I started hearing this like weird maniacal like child's laughter. And it was like kind of like a weird freaky thing. And I was like, oh no. And I was like so scared that I didn't say anything. And then I heard Ben go, what the fuck? And then I opened my eyes and it was all fake. It was a dream. It happened in literally like in less than 6 minutes. I had a dream. Like I had gone from putting the blanket over Will to like laying back down, had an entire dream about hearing like a coming out of the water and then hearing footsteps right next to our tent. And I was like, no thank you. Horrible. They were my babies. We'd sit in bed and watch TV while sharing lemon cookies. That's so sweet. Also, lemon, exquisite. It's time to play another game for stream. I know. I know. The only thought I had in my head when it happened was like, I opened my eyes and I was like, oh my god, it's like that spirit that comes and steals things out of your box on Coral Island at night. And then I was like, maybe I need to cool it on Coral Island for a little while. I don't know. But it straight up did make me have a camping nightmare. I was convinced it was real and that there was some little demon child outside of our tent. Which is really funny because, I mean, it's quiet out there. We're like the only people, right? And the people who host this campsite, it's private property, but like they allow people to come camp for a small fee. The host left because they knew I'd camped there before. And so we like drove up, said hi. She was like, "You've been here before, right?" I said, "Yep." She said, "Perfect. Have a good weekend." And then left. So like we were completely alone. And in my head I know this. We've been hanging around all day. Not seen a soul, right? No, man. Footsteps. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. So I wanted y'all to know that. Where in the mid-forest can I catch this birdwing butterfly? Because I'm going to have to move. It's not going to show me. Okay, we'll go to sleep and then we'll get on the computer like first thing in the morning. Because it only shows current time of day. I'm glad that you have found this funny. I found it funny after a while. After I calmed down from my heart attack, I found it really funny. I was like, what a weird dream. The last night I woke up, it was kind of warm last night compared to the night before. The night before, we were both like, I need to get back on the computer. Last night, or the night before last, we were both like cinched up into our sleeping bags and all you could see was like a nose. Right? It was that cold. But last night was a lot warmer, right? So I didn't have to wake up as often to cover Will up. But I remember Ben was like trying to talk to me. I was like, huh? I was so confused. Apparently a generator had turned on somewhere and he thought my car was running and he was asking me about it. But I remember being like, what? Like in a completely different universe because I was just like so asleep. Because we'd spent all day in the sun and like I'd been fishing all day and stuff like that. I was just out. So I didn't have any weird dreams last night, but I was visited by the produce thief fairy last night, or the night before last. Mom sent me to get you. Is something wrong? Okay. Look, it's the butterflies. Oh, that's a terrarium. That's a cute terrarium. I have that terrarium. This is cute. Eggs. Good thing it was just a dream, because if it's real, I'd be freaked out for you, because I went through my know too much about cryptid phase. My animal facts phase currently. I know. I know. Because for a hot second, it did occur to me that, like, we're in Bigfoot country here in the Pacific Northwest, and I was like, what else is here? You know what I mean? Yeah. Could have been unfortunate. But it was a dream. And it was fine. We didn't see our dear friend, though. That was really sad. Sweet Pea did not come say hi. Oliver is so excitable. Some predator cats will imitate the sound of small shit. Yeah, they will do that. Yeah, this was that was absolutely not the case. But if we would have been somewhere that was more like heavily wooded, I would have been more worried about that. For sure. However, we were in prime, like, wildlife sneaking up on you territory, because we were sleeping in the summer and early fall. The creek bed, it kind of like dries up, the water kind of recedes, and then in the winter it comes back, right? So we were sleeping on the creek bed, and animals at night will come and drink out of the creek, and so you gotta be careful. But it's more elk territory. Usually the big risk is elk. We gotta do the computer. Yeah. Y'all got some wild cryptids and freaky things. That was, I know. And what's funny is, like, I'm not originally from out here, so even I don't know like what's around here, you know? Okay, it said Forest Farm, which is here, right? And then Mid, which is here, obviously. That's exactly what this is. So I need a couple of those, and then maybe we make one extra for the lookout. So yeah, I'm not super duper well versed in my cryptid knowledge here. Oh, did I pet them? I'm gonna feel like a jerk if I didn't pet them. So I'm gonna pet them. That's how I felt when I lived in Alaska. I know. It's just like, you move out here and you're so busy looking up other stuff, you don't think to look up, you know, like, what do I need to worry about? But I will say, as much time as I've spent out and about around here, I've not run into anything like super weird. And I've definitely had the opportunity to run into really weird. What are the local crazies to keep an eye out for? Exactly. Exactly. Like, no one writes things you need to know about local crazies before you move here book. You know what I mean? Everybody's concerned more with, like, cost of living. No, you should be. Cost of living is wild. Really wild. Okay. Hey, was that auto feeder in there working today now that I've got Silo? Yeah, it's working now. I'm just loving this configuration, and I am going to have to come in here and bust it up when I get the buffalo. One, two, three, four, five, six. But honestly, you know what? Everyone up here is, like, as weird as some things up here can be, as far as, like, cryptids and just, like, sometimes strange things or happenings or people. I will say, everyone here thinks I'm Crocodile Dundee. My friends up here genuinely think that I have just the craziest experiences and stuff like that, right? Because I'm from the South. And so, for example, they will say something about, like, going swimming at a lake or something. And I'd be like, yeah, that's like not really a relatable thing for me. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's not relatable? I'm like, because if you get into a lake or a river or any kind of fresh water in the South, you're asking for trouble. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, let me spell it out for you. We got cottonmouths and alligators and mean-ass fish. And everything wants to kill you. Like, nothing wants to be friends with you. And they're not merciful. In fact, some of those really venomous snakes are horribly aggressive. And everybody's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, snakes? Like snakes? I'm like, yeah, snake. And you like show them a picture of the snake you're talking about up here, right? And they're like, oh my god, it's so big. You're like, yeah, your snakes aren't that big. They're like, No, our snakes are like that big, and they're just like garden snakes, unless you go out to the desert and you have a rattlesnake. But that's like all that's venomous here, and I'm like, it's so strange. And they're like, well, have you ever seen an alligator? Like, yeah. They just sunbathe on the banks of the river. Like, it's just a normal thing. And it's just so funny to watch everybody's reactions. Because they're like, you could be on the Discovery Channel. I'm like, no. No. These are normal things that happen in normal places. It's just not normal to you. So I think it's kind of funny. Your giant bird area makes me want to redesign my farm. I want it to be pretty. I want it to be pretty. And that third barn is gonna throw everything off. But I think I have a solution and it's gonna be fine. But I do really enjoy my barn and coop area. That's like the easiest thing to decorate for me. Opposite Northwest folks see the South the same way everybody else sees Australia. They kind of do. They kind of do. And what's funny is those the friends who, like, I used to sit near them at my old job, and they became my best friends. And we took a vacation together last year. We went to Disney last September. And yeah, I don't necessarily need that, I don't think. Jackfruit. Ooh, I don't have any other jackfruit though, so I do need it. So we get to the airport and we get our bags, we get our Uber, we're getting ready to head to our resort, right? Let me sort this inventory first and then I'll come back and fill those. We're leaving the airport and I hear Chelsea next to me in the back seat go, and I was like, oh my God, what? Like, I thought she'd forgotten something. And she goes, oh my God, there's an alligator sunbathing on the side of the road. It's midnight, okay? And I was like, you what? And she's like, you know, like, sitting on the side of the road because the asphalt's warm. I'm like, okay. So it's like, because there's a little pond like right next to the airport in Orlando, and she got excited because she saw a baby alligator sunbathing, and she cried. She straight up cried. She was so excited about seeing an alligator, and I was like, yeah, every bit of fresh water down here, there's one of those in it. That's for damn sure. But it was so cute. Because she was like, you weren't lying. I was like, no, I was not lying. I have been at Disney World watching them fish alligators out of like water features and attractions. I had been there before when there was an alligator in the bottom of the splash pool at Splash Mountain. That's a normal thing, especially during mating season. It's so they do kind of see it as like, whoa. Because seriously, when you look at it up here, they really don't have as many like snakes or like predators in terms, I mean, they have predators, but it's not like alligators. Some of that is like bears and that kind of thing, which, I mean, is normal. I mean, we have them too. Especially in South Alabama, we have all of the above. It's like you have the poisonous snakes, and then you have the alligators and the bears, and the bears will come in your yard and eat out of your trash can, and then it becomes a problem, and you know. Anyway. Also, all my friends up here are very opinionated about Bigfoot. I think it's really funny. Look at that little happy dance. Okay. And I believe the computer said that we can put the trap like here. Being city born and raised. I was an anomaly to make your friends because they thought I was. That's fair. That is. Yeah, I grew up in rural Alabama. And so I was very much that, like, indoors was never an option for me, kid. Plus, growing up in rural Alabama with with ADHD. Right? I was like bouncing off the walls. Everybody was like, get out! I have since been a city dweller, though. Okay, so we have row 2. One, two. That pickled garlic is worth enough to take up an entire aging barrel, I think. Okay. So then, let's borrow these empty barrels. So that we can start our wine row. Just so that we can have a little of everything running right now. So that we can kind of see how it's going to go, you know? See, this is what I was worried about. Like, are we going to be able to get everything out of those barrels with the labels in the way? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You know what we need to do? Let's come in here and get these cocoa beans and take them to Zoe. Because if I keep putting it off, it won't get done. Where is she? She's playing volleyball. Oh, crap. It's gonna be, she's busy. You can't talk to her. She's busy. Love you, dear. Have fun at volleyball.
Winter.
It is winter.
Seasons.
Yeah, there's seasons. Bye, dear. I think he's only ever seen me play in every other season. 'Cause they don't look very different, right? Do we have to like sit here and just like wait for them? Childhood predates the internet. My friends were outside dinner every day, all day in the summer. Yeah. I remember it being a really big deal. When we got internet in our house. I remember getting our first computer. There was a significant portion of my childhood where like we also didn't have internet. Meaning like it existed obviously, but we didn't have a computer in my house. I didn't watch TV a whole lot because I couldn't sit still for that long. I would go outside and play soccer by myself with my soccer net in the backyard or stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, hi. You're welcome. But yeah, I mean, even after that, I obviously played video games and stuff like that, right? But it wasn't like now where every single time you leave your house you have to expect to spend $100, right? It's the expectation nowadays is just that like everything costs money. Like, there's nowhere that you can be that's free hardly anymore, or where you can go and like be leisurely and stuff like that. And it can be draining and expensive. So like now video games is genuinely like the least expensive option instead of like going outside and playing, right? Look at it. It looks so good. Our town is becoming very S-rank. I sure do miss that. Just having places you could go in public that don't cost you $100. There are spaces on the system where they don't. As wild as it, I've seen more wildlife in Chicago in my adult years. Really? Interesting. Yeah. It is real sad that, I mean, we just, I don't know. Everything's just real sad. I need to get serious about these. I just don't feel like today's that day. One thing I absolutely loved was going to the library. What mural? I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, Mark. I used to love to go to the library. I still love to go to a library. But the problem with libraries now is that libraries have also started suffering from that problem of like hostile architecture and stuff like that, where they are made to be less comfortable and less attractive for just sitting around for long periods of time, because they're like, oh yeah, but all the homeless people are going to come to the library. It's like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, we just can't have anything anymore, apparently. Okay, what's he overcharging us for today? There's a black beanie. It's a red dot relic. Poppy seeds. Iron fence. I don't feel like I need any of that, but thank you. There's this family of raccoons that live a block over some possums, and I found out recently that part of the Chicago River. Shut up, otters. I would simply pass away. The Portland Zoo does a really big conservation program with sea otters out on the coast here. And so they do a lot of like rehabilitative work with otters. And so they have a lot of otters. And otters are my absolute favorite animal. And so anytime that Ben and I go to the zoo, we sit in front of the otters for like 30, 45 minutes. It's a very not chill amount of time. It's like, why are you sitting here this long? But I love watching them. It's adorable. Also, possums. Listen, possums, cool. Like North America's only native marsupial. Great. But when I was little, we had run to town. We had to drive over an hour if we needed like uniforms for school or anything like that. Or if we needed something we could not get at the super Walmart that put everything else in town out of business. Because I grew up in one of those rural towns where like Walmart did put literally everything out of business. If you couldn't get it at Walmart, you had to go out of town for it. And we got home one night kind of late. We'd been shopping for, I believe it was like our uniform shopping trip for that school year. And it's dark and I stick my foot down to get out of the car. And because when I was little, we had a lot of like outdoor cats, the possums would come up and eat the cat food, and the possum had seen us turn into the driveway and the light scared it, and it skittered under the car. And I stuck my foot down and stepped on the possum instead of on the ground. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I cannot recommend not stepping on a possum any less. It was very hissy. And I did fear for my foot. So then I went down this whole spiral of like, if it bites me, I'm gonna die of rabies. Because, you know, I've had generalized anxiety disorder my entire life. So I was like, I touched it, it's gonna give me rabies and I'm gonna die. For weeks after that. But they would come up and they would get in fights with our cats and stuff like that. It was all, the possums are awful. We'd roam around with like $5 and like 3 or 4 of us buying candy and food, playing arcade games, and still have change. I know. I remember that too. I remember getting a weekly allowance of $5 and then going and like buying something not like extravagant, but you could get like a really cool toy or something, you know? I used to save, like I've always been a big saver. I think I already came down here. I've always been a big saver, and so I would save up for stuff in my piggy bank, and then I would like take everything out and then do something like really cool with it. And I remember it would only take a few weeks to get stuff like super soakers, you know? And now you see these super soakers that are like $40. I'm like, I used to have one with a backpack on it. So you fill the backpack with water. And then it, like the super soaker connected with the hose. Oh yeah, my sister got me one time real good with the water gun. And I saved up my allowance for a few weeks to buy the super soaker with the backpack. She never bothered me with a water gun ever again. I'll tell you that much. But now those things are so expensive, and I don't know, things have changed. So our garden is finished, but that's kind of a bummer because now we can't see Derek every day. Crime against humanity, I'm telling you. Llama yarn. Look at that. What the fuck? 4,479 coins for llama yarn. People. Okay. We'll go check traps. We gotta do all the things. In case you forget how to smoke a salmon, I wrote down the recipe for you. Thank you. I assume you just put a salmon in a smoker. But I do appreciate it. Me and my brother were reminiscing about penny candy the other day. I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about how soda or snacks in the vending machines used to be just like not a big deal. Not a big deal. Like you could get a Coke for $0.25. And now they have the credit card slots on the vending machine because a Coke out of a vending machine is like $4. What? Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And you can get a candy bar out of the vending machine for, I mean, $0.25. Like, you can get a drink and a snack out of a vending machine for $1 or less. And now vending machines have gotten outrageous. And I was just like, I remember going to the YMCA after school because my mom used to work nights, and like when I was little, my dad was in law school, right? So like they couldn't pick me up from school. Oh, that's all right. Send me to the YMCA. And so we would go to the YMCA and we would get our little vending machine snacks and all that kind of stuff in the gym. And dude, now it'd be like $6 a day to give your kids like vending machine money, you know? Or like candy out of those machines, you know, the little like you stick your money in and you rotate them. Those little candy machines. I don't see those anymore, like ever. But I mean, who carries around pocket change now? The only one that I know of to like this day is still at my grandfather's auto shop. That is to this day the only one I'm aware of. I don't know. Some otters. Okay, otters can be demonic. So we were watching. I had never seen Zootopia. So we watched Zootopia the other night. And Ben loves that movie. He was the one who insisted I watch it. And he was like, yeah, but why is the otter like the first one to go crazy, right? Otters are so cute. Like, they're not predators. I was like, actually, otters are apex predators. And had to give him the whole rundown on why otters are so freaky. And he was like, I don't know that I think they're cute anymore. He genuinely was like, whoa. So funny. Want to know something that I get excited about every time I see it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this one's wine. Yeah. Apple, pear. Pear. Papaya, jackfruit, lemon, dragon fruit. I mean, what's the harm? Yeah. Payphones, yes. Every time I find one in public now, I take a picture of it. That's actually incredible because I was just thinking about that this weekend. So yeah, we went camping, but we almost couldn't go because my car wouldn't start. We had to get help, and then I was like, well, like, it's all well and good to get help while you're still in town, but what if we had been, where we were going camping? Because there's no service down there. It is literally in the middle of nowhere. There was no service all weekend. And, like, what happens when you don't have service? And there's no one around. And, like, you're just stranded. And then you can't go into public and be like, hey, can I use your cell phone? Because everybody's going to be like, no, you're just going to steal my phone from me. You know what I mean? Like, everyone kind of has this attitude of, like, everyone is out to get me these days. Because it feels like, genuinely, that's the truth a lot of the time. There it is. We got our last bug. Except for the one that we have to wait a whole nother year for. But, you know what I'm saying. Because... I don't know. And Ben was like, what are you talking about? I was like, they don't have like payphones and stuff like that anymore for emergencies. No one even memorizes phone numbers anymore. Ben was like, I don't know any phone numbers. Like, how do you not know any? I remember my childhood home number, which doesn't exist anymore. I remember the last 3 of my grandmother's phone numbers. I remember like 4 phone numbers for each of my parents. Including their work numbers and stuff like that. Fun bucket. I don't know. It feels so weird, right? It feels like stuff like payphones that genuinely were meant to be helpful to the public has just completely died out. Okay, I'm rotating my mouse in a perfect circle right now, and it's only going back and forth. Okay, there we go. Just feels so weird to be in public these days. It's like no one wants you to be in public anymore. It's kind of what it feels like, you know? Do, do. You like to hang out here a lot, right? You're at the recycling center right now. He's got a point. Do you need help with something? Oh, it's the piano. I feel like a piano would have been very noticeable. Grandma told me to always keep a quarter on me in case I needed to call home, so I have a permanent quarter in my wallet. That's fair. I always keep quarters too because quarters were always the most valuable when I was little. And now, even though no one has change, I always have quarters, and plus like tolls and stuff like that. We didn't have a whole lot of tolls where I grew up, but because there was nothing really to do around where I grew up, we would drive down to Florida a lot, and so we would like pay tolls in Florida with quarters, and so I used to have a massive stash of toll change in my car. And then someone bashed the windows in my car last summer and stole everything out of it, so I no longer have my quarters. Big bummer. I smell fire. There were still a lot of wildfires up here, so it's possible that it's just gotten windy or something. Oh. Yeah, pianos are extraordinarily big and heavy. Another. Look at me and Pablo working together. Look at me and Raphael working together. They're in Syria. Handsome. Now, I will admit that's not as cute in the winter. That is definitely cuter in the summer when you can like see the leaves hanging off of it and that kind of thing. Let's see what our next project's gonna be. I finished those. I'm working on the cloth for that. I gotta grow the cotton. Even though there's no payphones anymore. The last time I used a payphone was 75 cents anyway. I know. But sometimes those things that we're told, it's like my dad used to tell me to keep $20 in my purse just in case I needed to get a tank of gas so that I could get home. And now a $20 tank of gas is like completely unfathomable. Though for the first time in forever today, I got gas for under $3. I got gas for $2.99 today. And I was like mind blown. I have not bought gas that cheap since I moved up here from Alabama. How far off are we from this? I mean, we technically have the money for it right now. We technically do have the money for that. It'd be so cute. Like, look at it. Oh, I gotta make the scrap floor tile for that. I gotta start making flour. Why do I really want to do the community center? Or the rec center? I really want to do the rec center. Because it's cute. Look at it. It's adorable. Well, we have 150,000. Dolores. Our thing was keep enough money on us to be able to get on the bus if we needed to get home early. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have a bus. Like growing up in a rural area, you never learned about that kind of stuff. Because like you didn't have any public transportation. We used to have a train that would come through, but when I was little, not even Amtrak would come through anymore because it was so out of the way. And so it was all just like, yeah, walk home. I used to literally ride my bike around all of town from my house. And it was just like a 20-minute loop. And people would be like, yeah, okay. It was normal. It was a normal thing to do. Like, I was riding my bike around the block one time when I was little. And I got my shoelace caught in my chain and had a really nasty fall. And 2 different people pulled over and asked if I was okay and made sure that I was able to get home because they all knew who my parents were. That's the kind of town I grew up in. And like never had to worry about getting snatched. Partially because my grandfather was the general surgeon at the hospital in town. My other grandfather, my biological grandfather, my step grandfather was, but he was closer to me than my biological grandfather. Then my other grandfather knew the other half of town. My father was the district attorney at the time. This is like people you don't want to mess with. But still. We need to donate this butterfly or we're going to forget. It's just a different time. Because I don't think a lot of kids are allowed to do that anymore. Like just ride your bike around. Somebody pulls over, it's probably because they're trying to snatch you. I'd believe it. I understand it. Let's see. What does it take to make a solar panel again? All right. Let's make a rec center. Okay. My grandfather would tell us if anybody snatched his family, they'd bring him back quickly. Listen, I've always been convinced that I would be somebody who would be brought back very quickly. Because though I try very hard not to be through social conditioning, I can be incredibly annoying. I have the ability to flip a switch. And so that's what I've always told people. And plus, I'm mean. Like, I can be mean. I'm the oldest girl in my family. It was all boys until me, and then we never had another boy. Everyone's always thought that was a sign, right? Where's the hardwood? Did I get regular wood instead of hardwood? I got regular wood instead of hardwood. But yeah, I've always told everybody I could either annoy them or I would definitely square up and get myself killed. Like, there would be no in between. I will say though, my biological grandfather is best friends with the sheriff. Is that kind of town. Okay, let's spend all of my money right now. Okay, we did it. We're broke. We are broke. We are so not doing well financially anymore, but it's okay. Listen, we have that whole cellar just brimming with potential. I do need more resin. So maybe we make some more taps. Maybe we make one more tap. Because that's all we have material for. Okay. Yeah, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've got 15 aging barrels full of money makers. You know what I mean? So what do we need? What do we need? We need stone. We need stone. Scrap wouldn't hurt. We need gold ore. Gold kelp wouldn't hurt either. I mean, look at that. What if we went diving? We can get those things diving. Gold, most kids nowadays aren't interested, just cruise. I know. I know times have changed. And technology has changed significantly. I've got friends with kids in school, right? And the way they talk about, like, ugh, the school makes my kindergartner bring home a laptop now. What? When I was in school, I remember when we first got computer labs. And it was like a big deal to have your computer lab day. What happened to computer labs? You know what I mean? And now these kids are bringing home, kindergartners are bringing home laptops. What? It's wild to me. So, I mean, I guess it is just instilled in them from a young age, right? But then I look back and I think about where I grew up versus like where I live now and like the layout of town and I don't know. I think if I was growing up here, I wouldn't be on my bike anymore either because the road's so busy and like there's just not, it's not safe around here to do so. Not that it's not a safe area of town. That's not the problem. The problem is that I know for a fact these people around here don't respect pedestrians or cyclists. Ben has to wear a bright orange vest when he walks to work because people have tried to hit him in the crosswalk before. When there were flashing pedestrian crossing signs. Like, there's a pedestrian crossing that he uses that you literally, like, press the button and it changes a traffic signal. And people have tried to run over him at night before. Because they just don't care. So I don't know that I'd feel safe to be a kid riding my bike around here either. It's unfortunate. But it's true. Oregon Trail was so much fun. It was. And I think about those, games too, like, some PBS shows had games as well. And they'd be like CD-ROM games. There was one I really liked. I think it was Little Bear. And I remember there was a little mini game in it that you could do where you could decorate cookies. And that was like my favorite thing. I don't understand what's going on. Now, one thing I do remember video game wise, I remember my first MMO. It does not even exist anymore. That was big for me. Like video game wise, you know. That was big deal. Was an MMO. Also, what happened to those little websites like Disney Channel had like a games thing, but all those little like 8-bit games and stuff like that. You had all those websites you could go to, or they had the Flash games, or like some of them were like 8-bit, but it was mostly like Flash games. I loved those things. And those just like don't exist anymore. What are the names of those websites? What was it? It was Pirates of the Caribbean Online. I was definitely one of the like maxed out players. I would get gift cards for my birthday and stuff to have a membership so that I could play all of the story and like level up and that kind of thing. I remember it was a big deal at the time. So I was really into it. And then I remember when like World of Warcraft came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, you'd like that because you like the pirate game." And I was like, "It's just not the same." And then they took Pirates of the Caribbean Online down. They like ended the game. They had like a final raid and ended the game. And I didn't touch another MMO for a long time. And even then, it wasn't like a super popular one. It was Star Trek Online. And I didn't really start playing that one until I was in college. Ooh. MMO that consumed me was City of Heroes and Villains. Kind of came back a few years ago unofficially. Pirates of the Caribbean Online did the same thing. There's a fan remake of it right now. Somebody like had all of the files, and there's a fan recreation of the game. It's completely free because it's a fan recreation. And I knew that was a thing that had happened to other games, but that's so cool. I remember hearing about that game. Okay, I need to just get the kelp and go. Yes, we will exit diamond. You know what's sad though? As much as like I could play video games or stuff like that when I was little, it was never my favorite thing, and I never did it enough to get grounded from it. This is gonna sound like the lamest thing ever, but when I was little and I would get grounded, I wouldn't get grounded from TV because I didn't watch TV a whole lot. We would just watch like Full House right before bed. Or like we would watch, you know, like whatever was new on Disney Channel or whatever. But it was only at night after dinner, like right before we went to bed. So I wouldn't get grounded from TV. I wouldn't really get grounded from video games because video games kept me quiet. I never really got grounded from seeing friends because my sister was the one who was more like social, in terms of like going for sleepovers and that kind of thing. Like I never really did that. I got grounded from reading books. Let that sink in. I got grounded from reading the 5th Fablehaven book one time. I had waited forever and ever and ever for that to come out. And back when Amazon was just books, I had pre-ordered it on my mom's Amazon account. All it was books back then. And it was a big deal to pre-order something back then. And it came in, and so did my report card. This was back when I started showing that, like, maybe there's something a little wrong here. I was starting to really show my ADHD academically. And I got grounded from reading my book. To get it back, I had to read a classic. So I chose The Great Gatsby because it was the smallest book on the shelf. I asked them if Lord of the Rings would count, and they said no, which I thought was kind of lame. It is classic fantasy. Okay. Those do count. Do we need Razor Clans? No. No. Blue Oyster, yes. Seaweed goes in a different box. Green Oceans, no. Okay. Grounded from reading books. Hadn't thought about that one in a while. I sure did. You give off the vibe of grounded from reading books type of kid to me. I can't tell if that's an insult or not. If it is, that's probably the funniest one I've ever heard. That's so funny. I kind of love that. I do though, and look, my trophy shelves are in the background of every single stream that I do. I'm sure it's not that surprising. Ugh. But I definitely was the grounded for reading type. Yeah, that was Listen, that was a very trying time in my life. But that's how you know I was a good kid. Like, I kept my nose so clean, the only thing I ever got grounded from was reading my book. Which is consequently why it took so long for people to find out that I had a learning disability. Need more of that llama yarn. I think we'll do one more day. How long have I been streaming? Oh, okay. One more day I'll put us at about normal stream time. I'm just getting tired. We packed up that campsite in like record time this morning. It was like there was a fire coming and we had to get out of there. Which there could have been. Yesterday we watched the helicopters fly back and forth with the sandbags attached to the bottom. They were putting out wildfires near us. It's kind of weird. I've never seen that before. Ben has, because he's from Southern California, so he's very used to the wildfire thing. But I was like, if we're seeing the helicopter, are we like close enough to the fire to be concerned? Ben was like, unless they're actively dropping sand on you, no. Like, damn. I don't know. I don't like that. That's funny. I think that's officially my favorite thing anyone's ever said to me in chat. Possibly one of my favorite things anyone's ever said about me, period. I did. So it came up, my therapist was like asking about how I like keep myself entertained when I'm camping and stuff. And I like brought up all these activities I do, and she was like, well, do you do all that stuff at home? I'm like, yeah. I like, it's all the same stuff I do at home. I just do it outside. And add my little farming games into the mix. And she was like, what? I was like, I haven't told you? And so we went into this whole spiel about my farms and my cows and my ducks and my chickens and my llamas and all my artisan products and how I was gonna sort all of them. And I could see on her face that she was like, I have identified something with this one. And she was very sweet about it. She didn't say a single word about it. She was just genuinely curious about like what I do to occupy myself. I thought that was so funny. She She was just like, your farming games. And I told her I, like streamed farming games. She was like, you definitely seem like the type. I was like, if the shoe fits, I'm okay with it. I don't know. I thought it was funny. So I kind of got the, yeah, you seem like the type from my therapist this week too. What's wrong? Okay. He's very sweetly letting me know that it's about time to go OUT. It's definitely not an insult. Excellent. I was definitely the kid to get stuff into my locker in middle school. I am not at all sensitive about it. Like, I'm very aware that that is like, that's just me, and I've learned to be okay with that, even when people think it's weird, so. I also get a lot of nose turn-upage at what I read, which has always been a strange concept to me, because it's just like, people are going to read what they're going to, like, people are going to read what they find interesting. Like, I don't know. I read a lot of fantasy, right? Because people are always like, are you going to read a real book? I'm like, I don't know. Are you going to get a real personality? I don't know. Leave people alone. Let people have hobbies and interests. Man. I would just really like to get that cassette player out of there, you know? Let's open the fossils too, and we can take them to... Hi, Derek. I do agree. Pablo wishes he could be Derek. Look how cute this is going to be. I'm so excited. It's going to be so cute. We're going to open these and take them to the mural. Are we done with that upgrade yet? There might be some... We are done with it. So we just need our 8 kelp essence to come and do the last gold upgrade, and then we can start on osmium. I guess we've done 4 days. Man, it's starting to get dark a lot earlier. There was one thing that I have been weirded out, like moving up here, is how fast daylight hours shift. In the summer, it's light until 10 p.m. And in the winter, it's dark at like 3. And it's just so strange to me. Because it doesn't swing. Like, obviously it changes because that's just kind of the deal with living on Earth. But it's not that drastic and not that fast. It's not like a 7-hour difference in daylight. That's been very hard to adjust to since I moved out here. Okay, what do we do with our last day? Oh, chicken bake. Bodhi? Izzy? You know what I'm kind of thinking? What is the mysterious door? Oh. I see. Hello? Ooh, ooh, it is an explosives day down here. Heck yeah. Okay. Had to respond. You're the quiet kid growing up. Had some interest in what I've seen is cool. So never get asked my current interest. I'm talking here. I totally understand that. I absolutely understand that. I was the kid that got stuffed into lockers because reading wasn't cool back then. You didn't have like Bookstagram and Book Talk. Justify. Ball. I do need the rocks, so I am gonna kind of just go ham down here. And you know what's crazy too is that now a lot of the lame hobbies are becoming popular. I remember when I learned how to knit for the first time. it just like wasn't seen as cool. And I was like, oh. Well, that's kind of lame. Like, I just learned how to do this really cool skill. I brought this handmade scarf to school. Everybody's making fun of my handmade scarf. And now everybody's like knitting and crocheting, and like granny hobbies are trendy. You know? It just changes so much. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's kind of funny. This Parsha me and my brother were talking about, like how more, because everything is for younger folks these days in comparison. Yes! I just had a conversation about this exact same thing too. We're in this weird place where, like, it's more acceptable to have interests and hobbies and stuff like that now, which is wonderful. But then we're also in this weird digital space where, like, people want to have all these opinions on everything, and they can be, like, really harsh and really mean, and you get vilified for having any kind of hobbies or interests these days. So, like, we're in this really weird place where, like, you can have hobbies and interests, but if you post about them online, someone is going to come up with a reason that that hobby makes you a bad person. And it's such a weird dichotomy, because I feel like it's in real life more common that you get a, oh, that's real neat kind of reaction, and then on the internet you get a completely different reaction. And it's weird that you have to separate those spaces, you know? I love it, but also kind of jealous. I completely agree. I completely agree. Do-do-do-do-do. What's going on with this, man? This is a cool floor. Just hanging out down here. Now my inventory's full. I just think it's awesome that we've come to a place where we can all admit out loud that granny hobbies are actually fun and cool. I don't really need that. It's the never say that you like pancakes on social media because somebody will interpret it as you hate waffles. That's exactly what it is. That's the exact effect. So baffling. It's like that, Like, the internet has given everybody a voice, and now everybody feels like they need to have an opinion on everything. So it's like an inherently good thing with an inherently bad thing. Like, it's good to have opinions. That part's fine. But you don't need to have an opinion on everything. Because you can't know enough about everything to be able to have an opinion. Like a well-formed opinion on literally everything. That would be weird. So I think a lot of people default to just like, no, kind of behavior on it. I think that's weird. It's like, you don't need to have an opinion on everything. It's okay to just be like, I don't know enough about that to have an opinion on it. It's actually a really good thing. I'm more prone to trusting people that are willing to admit that, like, hey, I don't know enough about this subject to have a proper opinion on it. Leave me alone. The amount of conversations I've had in the exact... Yeah. Well, I feel like those of us that are old enough to remember what it's like to not be chronically online are feeling the same way right now about just the general attitude of the internet. Right now, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people around my age are feeling that way. And so I also feel like I've been talking a lot about it. Because, like, we're all going through the thing. Why? I'm okay to kick ass, but, I mean, please just leave me be. Ugh. You know? I don't need a 5th flame guard sword. I seriously think I have 5 of them at this point. Come at me. Where are you? Wow. Nothing's gonna come over here and try to kill me? I feel neglected. When I was home last month, that I was at a football game, and my dad's best friend has kids, and they're younger than us, because Russ is a little bit younger than my dad. And I used to babysit his kids. When I was in college, I would pick this girl up from elementary school and drive her home, and she would sit there at the counter with me, and I would do my calculus homework, and once I finished, we would watch a TV show on my laptop together. We would watch Once Upon a Time on ABC. And in 10 days, she's turning 18. And finding that out made me feel ancient. For some reason, the math is still not mathing for me on it. It's like there's no way. And oh my god, it's true. There's nothing I can do to make it not true. You know what I mean? It's just true. It's happening. I've written her a birthday card and everything. And, you know, she's in high school, so she's that age where, like, you can't really tell if she has genuine interest or if she's making fun of something because she's genuinely making fun of it. So, she makes fun of Twilight a lot. And so we send each other a lot of, like, Twilight memes and that kind of thing. And she... I can't tell. Because, you know, in a high school, it's like, oh, you can't actually admit you like something. Especially if it's cringe. So I bought her this, like, Twilight birthday card. And it's a picture of that scene in Twilight where, like, Bella's put together that Edward's a vampire, right? And it's that exact still, but it says, how long have you been 17? Never mind. Happy birthday! And it's just so funny because I have no idea if she'll like it because she thinks it's funny, or if she'll like it because she actually likes Twilight. You know what I mean? Because last year I even got her a couple of, like, Twilight stocking stuffers for Christmas. Because our families do Christmas together. So that happened after both our parents divorced in 2020. So, like, my parents divorced and then, like, her parents divorced. And so we do Christmas together now. And I got her some, like, Twilight stocking stuffers for Christmas. And I just... I don't know if it's real or not. I can't tell where the joke ends. Because, you know, she can't admit to having interests. She's in that weird, like, no, I don't like that age. Where, like, she can have one or two genuine interests, and that's it. Tops. Or she'll be lame, you know? I don't miss that phase of life. From that gets especially heavier as you get older. Excellent. Gotta be called a boomer. I know. I know. And then I had the thought the other day, I was like, what if she thinks I actually like Twilight? Is that a red barrel? Shut up. Is that a red barrel? It's a red barrel. Let's go. I had someone ask me the other day where to buy stamps. That hurt my feelings. just heard a scream outside. But I've heard no follow-up, so I'm going to assume everything is okay. How many rocks have I gotten? 417. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Cryptids. Yeah. You're probably right. We have this, we have all these microbreweries around because it's the Pacific Northwest and that's just the thing here. And one of them is like Wild something. The name is like Wild something. I don't remember. And one of their marketing things is they have somebody dress up as Bigfoot and stand outside and like wave to draw people in. First of all, it's so rainy here, that thing has got to smell disgusting. But it used to be like right next to where I worked when I actually worked in person. My old job. And I had a conversation about this guy dressed up as Bigfoot with one of my friends at work one day. And I thought it was funny. Like, I had just moved here. Like, Bigfoot jokes were still funny. And my friend got very serious. And she looked at me and she said, "No, that's not funny. Because what happens when Bigfoot sees that someone's mocking him? What's Bigfoot gonna do?" And I was like, oh. I'll never forget that feeling. It was just, oh. Guess I hadn't thought about that. And I turned around and started working again. It's like, no, but what's Bigfoot gonna do when he knows that we're making fun of him? Bigfoot's not just a marketing ploy. I was like, mm-hmm. Oh, that was almost bad. Wow. That yielded nothing. Nothing. Here's what I want to get rid of. I want that. Terrifying. Yeah, see, I'm not getting the good drops because I'm using the boom boom. So I'm gonna have to stop using the boom boom. Ugh. I've been told for somebody that is of beekeeper's age I'm too in the current day internet happenings. Yeah. See, what's what's sad to me is I theoretically should be of chronically online age. And I just am not. Ben doesn't even have a lot of social media. He has a Facebook account that he checks like once a month to see if he has any messages. Like, he is unplugged. But my social media is wildly neglected. I can go months at the time without posting. But I'll look at other people's stuff. I get annoyed because, like, Instagram, for example, used to be like people you know and seeing like their photos and like their stuff without having to do the political aunt is posting, you know, like offensively outrageous memes on Facebook. And now it's all just TikTok 2.0, basically. And I find that to be exhausting. And so I'll disappear from social media for like long periods of time sometimes. And because of that, I will miss out on certain sounds, like TikTok sounds and stuff like that become memes. One of the most recent ones, and it wasn't because I just like taken a hiatus because I was tired of social media. I just like genuinely wasn't available. It was that this meme came about in August when I was doing funeral stuff for my aunt. The very demure, very mindful. Like I missed that thing completely, and I logged back onto social media for the first time in 2 weeks, and it was like everyone was speaking a completely different language, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, why is every single post talking about being demure and mindful? What is going on here? I was so confused. I genuinely was like, they're speaking in tongues. I had no idea what it was about or what was happening. Confused. Let's just try, because they're all just sitting right there together. Haven't posted on social media in years. I just scroll the past time. See, that's... The time passes too quickly when I do that. I have to lock my apps. Like, I have to put timers on my apps so that I don't get stuck doom scrolling. My issue is that I love jumping down rabbit holes. Me too. That's why I will lose days of my life to doom scrolling, because I'll find one thing that's interesting, like the bee lady in Texas. There's a very specific corner of the internet where these people go in and they like move these colonies of bees that are, you know, in like bad places like construction sites, or they're in somebody's home and like they need to move, but like they don't want to call an exterminator or whatever. I get every single time I get sucked down the rabbit hole. and I can't get out. For days, all I'll watch, I gotta go back and do this. For days, I'll watch nothing but the Bee Lady. And then I'll do all this research on, like, what would it take to actually do that in real life? You know what I mean? Like, what would it take? And I just get trapped. The very mindful situation was a roller coaster. I know her. She just grabs. She literally scoops up handfuls of bees. And every time I see it, I'm like, we're just like, bloop, handful of bees. Just shake them off into the bee. Like, no, I would die. I would get stung and then have some kind of secret allergy. I would die if I attempted that. She just grabs the queen in that little clip right there. She's just like, there she is. I've gotten really good at identifying the queen now. Cute. I got the blue mushroom wall lamp. I love that. I wish there was a cute... So there aren't really any like dining room tables in this game that I love. And I would love a cute dining room table for these to go with because I think they're really cute. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean about jumping down a rabbit hole because I will do it. Map. Oh. Oh. Do 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 do. Well, we'll never know how to find it, will we? I'm not a car person. I just spent 3 hours this morning watching car YouTubers. Listen, it happens to me all the time. I completely understand. All the time. Something that, like, I am not even, like, if you couldn't tell from the everything about me, I'm not a parent. And somehow I'll get sucked into, like, parenting videos. Or, like, things, hello? There we go. Or things that just are not relevant to me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And one thing that I've found really funny is one thing that'll really do it. Teachers. Now, I was a teacher. So there is some of this there is some of this that would have been applicable to me in a past life, right? But I'll watch these like elementary school teachers and stuff like that give out classroom tips. And I'm like, that is a good tip. Knowing good and well, I never have taught in that kind of environment and I never will. I can't explain it. I'll watch anything if it's entertaining enough. I learned how to take apart and service a KitchenAid stand mixer. That is a thing I knew how to do, actually. We already have 3 red barrels. It's fine. I picked it up for the meme. What's one that book binding? I saw somebody rip apart paperbacks of A Court of Thorns and Roses and then make their own custom covers because special editions for those books are notoriously expensive, right? And I was like, I wonder how hard it is to learn how to do that. And so I started looking it up. And then 2 weeks later, I was over 60 videos deep in some guy's YouTube channel. And he's just this really sweet, like, older gentleman teaching people how to bind books. And he's very informative and very calming. And it was literally an entire week of my life. I sat there and watched really nothing but this guy teaching you how to do book binding. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. Knowing good and well, I do not own any of the tools to do that. Like, I don't own any tools for that. I can't do that. Okay. Let's put these seeds up. We gotta go to bed. We've already been told we're up past our bedtime. Look how many seeds we've gotten just from going over there. Those are indoor decorations. We got the mosaic prints. Look at that. We've almost got 5 of it. We need to start replicating those things. I learned how to do that when I was in art school. See, I don't have the tools for it or anything like that. But it's something I would love to learn to do. As much as I love books and as much as I love my trophy shelf, it's something I'd love to learn to do. But yeah, I did just straight up spend an entire weekend learning a completely new skill that I really don't have any intention of ever using. Which, I mean, I guess is not necessarily true. I have signed up for a bookkeeping class around here, but the wait lists for them are like months and months and months and months long. I've also done deep dives on how to make terrariums. The optimal plants to put in terrariums to keep them alive, like, indefinitely. Just seal them off. I don't have anywhere to put a terrarium like that. I don't get enough sunlight for a lot of terrariums like that. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Where am I going to get that kind of sunlight? That's like the only thing you have to give these things is sunlight. I've spent a week of my life deep diving on the perfect like sediment to use in the bottom and exactly which plants to get and where to buy them from and what they do for the terrarium and which bugs would be best with those types of plants in the terrariums, and then what planting medium would I put in there, and then here's a video on how to make little like stone steps to make it actually look like something. Yeah, I waste a lot of time on really dumb stuff. Not that it's not interesting, because it is, obviously, but I'm not going to be making a big terrarium. I don't have anywhere for it. I'll never own a Dodge Charger Hellcat, but I could probably repair one if I needed to. I know. I know, there's an account on Instagram, and I can't remember her name, but she like teaches you how to repair your car. And I'm like, I know a lot of things about cars because my grandfather owned an auto salvage shop, and when I was growing up, I would go to work with my dad and my grandfather because my dad used to work there when I was really little, before he went to law school. And so we would spend our summers out there, and we would do like inventory and like all that kind of stuff with everybody. And we would go out to the shop while they were rebuilding cars, and it was just like, you learn that stuff by nature of just like being in the environment. But I don't know. Have you seen a rug tufting gun? I sure have. I sure have. I've seen people make like rugs with them, but also like the little you can make the little like cross stitching things, which is a hobby I have tried. I'm quite good at it. You can make the little like cross stitch looking things with the tufting guns, and then you like take it, you shave it down, and you do the like you gotta bring the razor in and like get the edges real sharp. Yeah, that's very satisfying to me. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I actually, speaking of cross stitching, I've got this Christmas stocking that I've been working on for a while. It's like a whole big thing. It's taking forever, but making my dog a Christmas stocking. I mean, my God, I crochet stuffed animals, that kind of thing. Like a rug tufting gun. Like, yeah, that's 100% straight up my alley. I love watching the videos of like finishing a custom rug, getting the lines real sharp. Yeah, I'll lose hours to those videos. Anyway, I do need to go. It's getting dark. I'm getting tired. I am back in town. Camping is done. So I'll be back on like as normal the next few days. I don't really have anything coming up for the next couple of weeks, really. So I'll probably be streaming a little bit more normally again. I have a video saved to my watch later where a guy allegedly is making coins on his stove. I need to see that, because do you know how cool it would be to make a coin like custom with your own stamping on them? Like, ugh, that's amazing. Good night, Catherine. Thanks for playing Coral Island. Thank you, Coral Island. Wow. Wow. Hello. I mean, I guess good night, because I am logging off. But that's kind of neat. Wow. 440 hours in this game. Most of them live. I got a chat from Coral Island. Thank you. Okay, but actually though, I do need to go, so I can wake up and put up my camping gear so that I can stream again tomorrow. We're gonna keep doing our artisan stuff. We do need to make more of those aging barrels. The only problem with the aging barrels is the resin. The resin is slow. That's cool as hell. That is really cool. That's really awesome. We gotta get more resin, and to do that, I need to be better about smelting more bars, because the problem I'm running into now is that I'm not refining things as I need to, and then I'm having to wait for days at the time. So we need to get better about that. Maybe we need 4 different furnaces. Maybe we need 4 furnaces so that we can be smelting each type all the time. Because we're to the point in the game where we're crafting a lot more than we were. More trees. Yeah, more trees. The only reason we don't have taps and more trees is because we don't have the ore for it. Well, we have the ore. We don't have the bars for it. And what is it? Copper? I should theoretically have so much copper. We gotta do it. It must be done. We've also got to get serious about Romance Everyone. We're like the worst Romance Everyone people ever. Because we've only got 2 boyfriends. Zara's coming up though. I think Zara's our next locket recipient. And I don't know if that's happened yet. But I know that once we finish the recreation center, in a few days, we'll be able to do, like, the recreation center has a level up for a lot of people, I think. Right? It, like, helps your level with a lot of people. So maybe that'll help us. Okay. We'll continue this tomorrow. Live again between 3 and 4 Pacific time, PM. And if you can make it, we'll see you then. Otherwise, thanks for coming and hanging out and being in chat. I do appreciate it. Thank you to the VOD watchers as well. The music has gone off, which like never happens when I'm in Digstream. Thanks to the VOD watchers. I know some of you do watch. I do get your comments. I do reply to them. I appreciate you. And I hope everyone has a good night or afternoon or morning or evening, whatever time it is for you. Anyway, have a good night. See you next time. Bye.